Do you ever find me to be funny? Do you ever find me to be funny? Yes, I am. The truth of the matter is that I do. I admire your sense of humor. A veteran actor, Joe Pesci, is well known for his parts that are known to be aggressive and unpredictable. Some examples of his characters include Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas and Nicky Santoro in Casino. In spite of this, there is a straightforward private individual who is rarely seen in public who is hiding behind these legendary identities. In the harsh world of entertainment, Pesci is a living testament to the adage, small but mighty. He stands at just 5 feet 4 inches tall, but he has demonstrated that success is not about physical stature, but rather about talent and dedication. The life of Pesci is not just replete with brilliant highs, but it is also marked by tremendous volatility. The terrible incident that occurred during his second marriage was caused by the conviction of his ex-wife, Claudia Haro, for conspiring to commit murder. This brought Pesci's name into the media frenzy, despite the fact that he was completely innocent of the charges. What makes Pesci genuinely admirable, however, is not only his tenacity in facing personal challenges, but also his miraculous rebound from those challenges. When an artist who has previously declared their intention to retire returns to the screen, it is quite uncommon for them to immediately gain a nomination for an Academy Award. Pesci did this with his portrayal in The Irishman. Joe Pesci's decision to leave the sparkle and glamour of Hollywood was motivated by what truth? What are the mysteries that lay concealed behind the spotlight and the roles that he brought to life that will be remembered forever? We invite you to accompany us as we investigate the life of one of the most unusual and indelible individuals in the annals of entertainment history. Born on February 9, 1943 in Newark, New Jersey, Joe Pesci was born into a family that was of Italian-American descent and belonged to the working class. His mother was a barber, while his father, Angelo, was a forklift driver. He was named after his former father. Pesci's father had the hope that his son would one day be able to escape the challenges of their labor-intensive existence by entering the entertainment industry. Pesci had his upbringing in a household that was considered to be blue-collar. It was his father who encouraged Pesci to make an appearance on StarTime Kids, a television program geared for children, when he was only 5 years old. Pesci, however, did not experience much joy as a result of the strong lights that were present on stage. Later on, he stated that the strain of chasing his father's ideal rather than his own allowed him to feel like he was being burdened by it. In spite of these kinds of constraints, Pesci's youth was not devoid of ties that were significant to him. It was around this time that he became good friends with Frankie Valli, Tommy DeVito, and Nick Massey, all of whom would go on to join the famed band The Four Seasons. The fact of the matter is that it was Pesci who was the one who brought them to Bob Gaudio, the lyricist and the last member of the group. As a result of this seminal introduction, Pesci became not only a prominent character in the world of entertainment, but also an important contributor to a particular chapter in the history of American music. Belleville High School, located in Belleville, New Jersey, is where Pesci received his diploma. In spite of the fact that he was brought up in a humble and working-class household, the relationships and experiences that he cultivated during his boyhood provided the groundwork for an exceptional and astonishing adventure that was still to come. However, Joe Pesci's first passion was music, and he did not begin his career in the film industry. When he was in his 20s, he became a member of the band Joey D and the Starlighters, where he sang and played the guitar at nightclubs in the area. It was during those years that Pesci devoted his entire being to performance, with the expectation that music would be the means by which he might escape an ordinary life experience. Joe Ritchie was the stage name that Pesci used when he launched his first solo album, Little Joe Sure Can Sing, in the year 1968. Unfortunately, despite the fact that the CD represented his commitment about music, it was not successful in making an impression. Pesci's dedication to music became an important chapter in his artistic career, and the stage presence he perfected during this time would later help him shine on the film. This was despite the fact that he had experienced a setback. After the failure of his music career to provide him the success he had hoped for, Pesci started looking into other options to follow his aspirations. He tried his hand at acting and was fortunate enough to land his first role in the low-budget picture The Death Collector, 1976. Which was about a plot that took place in the underground of the mafia. Pesci's performance created a great effect on those who recognized his brilliance, despite the fact that the movie did not succeed in gaining traction and was swiftly forgotten. However, the failure of The Death Collector to achieve commercial success came dangerously close to destroying Pesci's faith in acting. After leaving Hollywood, he went back to the Bronx and found employment as a restaurant manager in order to be able to cover his expenses. For many people, this may have been the moment that their dreams came to an end. Nevertheless, for Pesci, it was simply a temporary setback ahead of fate's intervention, which would change the course of his life forever. When Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro were looking for actors to cast in Raging Bull, 1980, they came across The Death Collector. They immediately saw Pesci's exceptional potential and brought him on board. They went out to him and convinced him to play the part of Joey LaMotta, the fiery and complicated brother of boxer Jake LaMotta. He agreed to play the role. After some initial reluctance, Pesci eventually gave in, and the choice he made would completely change the trajectory of his life. Not only did Pesci demonstrate his talent as an actor on the set of Raging Bull, but he also demonstrated that he is profoundly committed to his job. Pesci's rib was broken by Robert De Niro for no apparent reason during one of the training scenes. The film was able to capture the moment, which saw Pesci grimacing in actual pain before the camera angle moved. This moment serves as a monument to his dedication. In addition to establishing Pesci as an amazing talent in the film industry, his depiction of Joey LaMotta garnered him his first nomination for an Academy Award. At the same time, it marked the beginning of a lengthy and fruitful partnership with Scorsese and De Niro, a renowned trio that would go on to create a number of cinematic masterpieces. With unwavering determination, Pesci was able to transform himself from an unknown artist into one of the most sought-after performers in Hollywood, despite the fact that his introduction into the acting industry was riddled with difficulties. However, his story was not even close to being finished. It had just started. Within the context of the film Goodfellas, which was released in 1990, Joe Pesci worked with Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro once more. This time around, he was awarded the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as Tommy DeVito, a mobster with a fiery temper and a violent nature. Additionally, the character became a cinematic icon as a result of his performance. On Premiere Magazine's list of the 100 best movie characters of all time, Tommy DeVito was ranked number 96 for the highest possible position. Pesci's reputation as a master of portraying individuals who are both menacing and shockingly authentic was significantly strengthened as a result of this milestone. Pesci's contribution to the script was a significant factor that contributed to the overall remarkableness of Goodfellas. Pesci was the one who wrote and directed the famous "You Think I'm Funny" moment. In this scene, Tommy causes everyone around him to feel uneasy by his unpredictable intents. In order to build the moment, Scorsese gave him the freedom to express his creativity, and it ended up becoming one of the most memorable scenes in the movie. Pesci's talent was not limited to acting. He was also able to master the emotional and situational nuances that arise in each and every scene. After Goodfellas, Pesci's career took off with performances in a number of other famous parts. It was in the 1995 film Casino that he worked with Scorsese and Robert De Niro again. Casino is widely considered to be a masterpiece about the criminal underground. His portrayal of Nicky Santoro, a character who was both menacing and compelling, contributed to the further solidification of Pesci's position as a legend in the world of gangster cinema. Pesci's repertoire, on the other hand, was not limited to parts that involved violence. Through his performances in a wide range of genres, he demonstrated an impressive capability for adaptability. Through his role as Harry Lime in the cherished Christmas classic Home Alone 1990 and its sequel Home Alone 1992, he contributed to the hilarity of audiences. It is interesting to note that director Chris Columbus chose Pesci not only because of his acting abilities, but also because Pesci was one of his most influential figures from his upbringing. In the beginning, Columbus was skeptical about whether or not Pesci would be suitable for a comedy role. Nonetheless, Pesci's ability to effortlessly adapt to a variety of personalities revealed that Columbus was wrong. Moreover, Pesci was a master of a variety of film genres. Once Upon a Time in America, 1984, an epic film directed by Sergio Leone, featured him in a supporting part, and he gave a performance that lived long in the memory. JFK is a political thriller that was released in 1991 and focuses on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Pesci played the multifaceted role of David Ferrie in the films. J. Kennedy. He even tried his hand at musicals, making an appearance in the German version of Dear Mr. Wonderful, 1983, which demonstrated his varied talent and his desire to take on a variety of challenges for the first time. Pesci made an unexpected comeback to the acting world in 2017 with the film The Irishman, which was a crime drama directed by Martin Scorsese and also starred the legendary actors Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Surprisingly, Pesci first declined the job more than 50 times, angrily saying that he did not wish to become involved with gangster activities any longer. Scorsese's perseverance and assurances that The Irishman will be different eventually succeeded in persuading him to abandon his previous position. The movie was initially shown in a select number of theaters on November 1st, 2019, and then it made its debut on Netflix on November 27th, 2019. In the role of Russell Bufalino, Pesci distinguished himself from his typical fiery mobster persona by providing a performance that was restrained yet authoritative, which garnered praise from the critics. His nuanced performance earned him a number of awards, including nominations for Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards and the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, as well as 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. It was not only the comeback that reinforced Pesci's undiminished skill, but it also re-established him as one of the most talented performers of his generation. There was more to Pesci's comeback than just being on screen. Pesci Still Singing, his third album, was released on November 29, 2019, marking his return to the music industry in the latter half of 2019. As a result, this was his first musical project in 21 years. Not only did Pesci demonstrate his multi-dimensional artistry with such a monumental year, but he also continued to reinvent himself even in his senior years. The fact that Pesci is able to leave a distinct impression on films of any genre is one of the defining characteristics that contribute to his irreplaceable status in the film industry. Regardless of whether he is portraying a cold-blooded gangster, a bumbling thief, or a historical figure, Pesci always manages to endow his performances with a charisma that is both genuine and indelible. Because of his unflinching dedication and extraordinary talent, he has achieved a stature that very few people reach. Not only does Pesci's success stem from the accolades and honors he has gotten, but it also stems from the way he makes each role into a work of art by remaining true to his craft, remaining resilient, and remaining passionate about what he does. This trip serves as a reminder that brilliance and dedication can originate from unanticipated sources, and that success does not necessarily follow the path that is typically assumed.